If you have a straight razor and it's dull, I'll show you my process for making it hair-popping sharp. And for the tools you'll obviously need your straight razor, and I have 3 sharpening stones. These are ceramic, so I'm starting with a 1200, 5000, and 12,000 grit stone with a leather strop, and I'm using green frog tape to help protect the edge when I sharpen on these stones. You don't have to do this, but I like putting green frog tape or any protective tape onto the spine of the straight razor, since the shoulder is going to be in contact with the stone, and I want to make sure I don't mar that up at all. Next, we're going to just put a little water onto our ceramic stone to help glide the knife on it. You don't need a lot. Just going to rub that in. And the stone will soak up a lot of the water. Very importantly, when you sharpen, you want to make sure that the entire edge is on the cutting surface and the spine is on the stone as well. There are many different ways to sharpen. I like sharpening in a X motion. So on one side, I will be putting the heel of the straight razor on and then making sure the whole edge is in contact with the block. And with gentle pressure, bring in the entire blade over. Same thing over here. Heel to tip. I like putting about 3 pounds of pressure when I sharpen. That just works best for me. And how do you figure out what 3 pounds of pressure is? You grab yourself a food scale, put your hand on it, and go up until you can hit 3 pounds. But that's just my personal preference. If you want to go a little bit heavier or a little bit lighter, that's totally fine too. I really enjoy going in this X motion, in this crisscross motion. And I enjoy going edge leading. I know some people only go edge trailing, which is fine. People can totally do that too. I just think that brings up a larger burr if you do it this way. Going edge leading, the burr is minimized and it's a stronger edge in my opinion. Also, you don't have to go in this X motion. People can easily go forward and backwards. You just want to make sure that you sharpen the entire edge of the stone. But I feel going in this X motion, you can hit the entire edge in one pass. But hey, you're the Bob Ross of making your knife's edge gloss. So you do what's best for you. And the biggest thing is you have to make sure you bring a burr, and then we're going to refine the burr and remove it with our leather strop. And then we'll have an extremely sharp straight razor to shave with. With this 1200 grit stone, I'm making sure I bring a burr. It'll be a very small burr, but you have to make sure you bring one up and apex the straight razor or you won't ever get it sharp. I sharpen for as long as it takes to bring up a burr. With the 1200 grit stone, it's still relatively fine, so don't be shocked if it takes you over 50 passes to bring up a burr. Once the burr is raised, I'm going to swap to the next finer stone, and I'm going to refine the edge, and then I'm going to use my leather strop to remove any burr. I also have this Tom Love microscope. It's 100 times zoom, which is amazing because at 1200 grit, it'd be very tough to see a burr. So holding the edge, you can see how it's refracting and it's a little bent over. That's the burr, so I definitely have apexed this straight razor. Time to move on to the next progression. So same thing over here, we're just gonna add a little bit of water. And just spread that around. Get every little corner. The stone will absorb a little bit of the water. We're going in our X motion. The biggest thing when you sharpen is making sure the entire shoulder, so this is the spine, shoulders are the sides. You want to make sure the entire shoulder and the edge of the straight razor is in contact. So if you have it uneven or slightly higher, like cockeyed to one side, you won't have a straight sharpened side. Also, when you sharpen, I'm stopping and I'm coming straight up. And I'm rolling it over, stopping, coming straight up. You don't want to ever roll your edge onto the stone this way. So just pop it over, and then that's a good starting point as well. But you always want to stop and then pull up. You never want to try to push off the stone. You could damage and roll the edge. And for our finishing stone, same thing, just a little bit of water. Since this is not as porous as the other one, it may not absorb too much of the water. I'm just putting this shot in right here because I think it looks cool. That's all. I'll get a better point of view. Sharpening straight razors is not a fast process. You're using very fine stones, and it takes a long time. So I like to use this to zen out. I like to have some nice music in the background and just take my time. So again, don't be stressed about how long it takes, and don't put too much pressure. And the final step after you sharpen is to remove the burr. So going always edge trailing, using my leather strop with a white compound. And this is going to remove the burr and make this extremely sharp. I'm actually using a lighter pressure than I do for sharpening, letting the weight of the straight razor be the amount of pressure I'm putting on, and just gently taking the burr off. Still in the same process as we did for sharpening, heel to tip. .105. That is extremely sharp. Now we've tested this on cigarette paper, on the best scale, and now to shave some hair. Since I'm 38 and I still grow peach fuzz, we'll have to use my hairy arms for the example. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully this helps someone out there to learn how to sharpen a straight razor. Very easy, just takes a little bit of time. All right, guys, I'm Vinny, the Knife Guy. Have a great night. I'll be the Bob Ross of your knife's gloss. No.
You be the Bob Ross.
I'll be the Bob, no, they be the Bob Ross of their knife's gloss. Yes, that's, you be the Bob Ross of your knife's gloss. I'm so dumb.